And I'm back, and what I'm going to do here today is I'm going to tile the backsplash around this kitchen countertop. Okay, now what I've got to do is I've got to cut out the holes for all these receptacles. And I looked at this tile that I've chosen here, and it's all, it's put on a mesh backing, and it's all these little segments. So if I were to try and cut these on the bench first and then mortar them to the wall, I can see all sorts of problems where these are going to, little pieces are going to be wiggling and not stay straight and whatnot. So how I'm going to do this is I've measured on the wall above where the tile will sit, the width of the opening and the distance from the cabinet down to where I want the hole to be. In this case, it's going to be 8 5/16 to where I want the hole to begin, to 12.5 inches where it ends. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all these receptacles, tuck the wires back in the boxes, and I'm going to tile full pieces all the way in here without cutting any holes in it. And then once it's set, I'm going to go back and I'm going to use my measurements to mark on the face of the tile where the hole is, and I'm going to cut out the hole with a special grinder I bought. Okay, so before I remove those receptacles, I'm here in the main panel. Okay, so I've taken out all these receptacles. I've capped off all the wires and I've pushed them all back into the boxes. I've marked all the lines either side of the box and the measurements down. I've recorded that also on a little storyboard because they're all just a little bit different. And I just don't want to lose track of any of the numbers, so I've got them all written down there. So one thing that does help is if you can cut them in the package. So you just cut right through the package. You can see where I had a little blue ink on here. And I had measured this off. So this I cut right through. What I've been doing is I'm laying out how these are going to fit on this backsplash here. So I'm just going to, see I've cut this piece here. That'll be my last piece in here, see, like that. So what I did was I started over here by cutting the edge off square. Actually, what I did was I started here. I cut an edge off square against the back wall. I put a full piece in here. And then see how it's ragged on the edge here? See, I had to cut this other little piece. See this here? And what this will do, this interlocks. And this will form the square edge. Let me see here. Let me get that. See, that little piece goes in there and that'll form the square edge. I could start this one. Actually, this is the piece I cut off. I can actually use that as the start in that corner. See, like that. What I'm going to do when I get to the window, I'm not even going to cut these. This is the height of the top of the tile. I'm just going to mortar them right on here, leave them hang up here like this, and when the mortar's all set, I'm going to take my grinder and I'm going to cut down here and across. I've picked up some thin set mortar, and I'm just using like a little notch trowel here. I like to put it on just with a knife like this. Okay, so here's the thin set going on that back wall. Let's try that. See, I'm going right around the hole. Not worrying too much about the hole at all. Go right beside it and make sure that those tiles that have to be cut around the hole are well adhered. Yeah, so, okay. Right down like that. Okay, so I got those in. And in that one goes. Got all that backsplash put on there, and I've used a little diamond wheel on my drill. I'll show you that in a second, how I cut out the holes. I'm getting it set up, putting some box extenders in these holes. Yeah, so these little box extenders bring your receptacle or whatever you're going to put in there right out to the surface flush. Okay, that's worked quite well. These are yet to be done, and there's one blanked off. I got the same done over here. Got that one opened up. And over here, this one's remaining to be cut out. See, so I put the backsplash in here. I marked it. I put the tile right over the hole. I just knew where it was going to be, and then I've just finished marking this off. You can see it there. All right, so this little thing I'm using to cut the tile, it's a diamond saw. It's made by Dremel, and I bought a little mandrel that fits in a drill. So I'm just going to put that in my drill, and we'll put on the mask, because there's, in these particular tile, there's glass and metal, so I don't want to have that in my eye. And we'll show you, we'll get these cut out. Okay, now this one. Okay, so I got all that cleaned up, I wiped it off. Now, something I hadn't mentioned was that before I cut out these holes, I had ran grout into all the cracks on this backsplash. So the other thing you're going to notice when you put a backsplash on is your receptacles are going to sit too far out from the box for the factory screws to attach it. They're not going to reach. So what I did was I went to the hardware store and I bought some 632 bolts, and I got 1.5 inches. But yeah, these little short ones aren't going to work. And of course your cover plates, they just go through with the standard screws. But those lengths can be the same. Those little screws for that can be the same. But the ones that attach your receptacles and whatnot to the wall have to have longer screws. Okay, let's get that together.